Hello, welcome to another edition of Popular Speed Report. I'm Chase Wilhelm, alongside is Matt Weaver with Popular Speed. Race is over here. The Sprint Cup race at Bristol Motor Speedway is all wrapped up. Matt Kenseth takes home the victory. 5 wins for the chase now for Matt Kenseth. He has a little bit more room to maybe experiment with things going into Atlanta and Richmond. What's your take on that?
First, just a fantastic race, Chase. A lot of people were talking about Bristol and would it provide the same excitement that you've seen in years past, and the Bristol Night Race certainly delivered. You had a final 10 laps with Matt Kenseth being just pounded by Kasey Kahne, and it came down to the wire. Kasey Kahne was right there with Matt, got around him more or less on the bottom, with a few laps left to go, and Matt just kept fighting, had the better car, had the momentum on the outside, was able to get his 5th win of the season, and most importantly, some chase room.
Let's talk about the racing a little bit here that we saw tonight at Bristol. A lot of drivers are saying it's not the same old Bristol. A lot of fans are saying that you're not on the bottom groove anymore, like we were talking about in the pre-race show. But I think we saw a pretty good race still. It's still Bristol. You still see some really good racing. We saw some really good racing on the high group tonight.
It's Bristol, baby. You know, it was a fantastic race. You know, if anything else, Bristol has gotten better in my opinion. The racing has shifted from the bottom to the top, and that's really added a lot more speed. It's added the chance for a lot more impact. You see the dive bombs. You still have the hit and run is still in play. Kasey Kahne, you know, he gave Matt a little bump there on the last lap, but he was in the media center just 15 minutes ago, and he talked about how he had the option to turn Matt or to give him a huge shove. He just didn't want to win the race that way. He wants to be, known as a clean driver. But Bristol hasn't changed. It's moved from the bottom to the top. You still have the big crash. You still have a situation at the end of the race where 2 guys are running for the win, and the guy in second has the decision to make. Do I turn the guy? Do I wreck the leader and win the race in the last lap? That is no different than what we've seen with Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte. The history of Bristol is littered with that last lap bump and run. You still have that. Instead of pushing a guy up the track, you have the choice to bump them into the wall or try to push them down the track, or the slide job. I think that makes for incredible racing, and we saw that tonight at Bristol.
Another thing that I noticed too was diamonding the racetrack. You had the cars going a little lower, then going up the hill a little bit in the center of the corner, then diving back down to go through the straightaway. That was pretty interesting to see tonight as well.
Yeah, slowly but surely the drivers are learning how to make this bottom line work. Whether it's the dive bomb and hoping the guy behind you will give you a little bit of room to work, or just slowly eating away at a guy. If you have a car that's suited to handle in the bottom, you can eat away at the position. Move to the rear quarter panel, get to the door, get to the front bumper, and then try to clear them with a dive bomb. And so I think the new Bristol provides a lot more chances to pass. It's not the side-by-side constant racing that you had after the 2007 repave. It's kind of a blend between the old and the new Bristol. It's the new Bristol. And so it's just as exciting as side-by-side racing. You can diamond the turns, you can ride the bottom, you can do the dive bomb, you can try to test the car and see how high up you want to go. It gives you a lot of different options, and so I'm kind of surprised to hear that the drivers don't like it, because it gives them a lot more options than just ride the bottom, try to get the bump and run, or worry about the bump and run. And I think if you were to listen to the drivers who complained about it, it was Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch. These are all drivers who had just a terrible weekend for a variety of different reasons. I think if you were to ask, Kasey Kahne, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, the guys who had some success today, they would probably tell you a little bit different that they might like this track better than the old format or the one from 2007 to 2010.
When I was watching tonight, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Darlington, where you still have that diamonding of the racetrack and you're up in the high group.
Yeah, I mean, you just ride the top and you have that momentum. It's certainly very similar, but the difference is obviously it's a short track.
Yes.
So the guys are just right there on top of each other. I'm sure some of the drivers wish they were in Darlington. That's the only time you'll hear them say, "Gosh, I wish I was at the track 2 times tame." But today was certainly that kind of race, and yeah, it's got that kind of attributes. I'm not entirely sure that it's as quick as a Darlington, but it certainly is gritty and it's a short track.
Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the wild card chase. You have Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, and Jeff Gordon right on top of each other there in 11th, 12th, and 13th place. All 3 of them have no wins. No wins right now. So going into the last 2 races, Atlanta and Richmond, who do you think has the best chance to get in there for those 2 wildcard spots?
I have no idea. I think both of us. We talked about Jeff Gordon last night after the nationwide race, and we said he has no chance to make the chase, that he's out of it, he's shot himself too many times. And you saw a situation today where on the final restart, Jeff Gordon started third, high line. You know, we thought he was going to contend for the win, and he had another situation that kind of took him out of the running, and we thought, yeah, well, there he goes, and there's another Jeff Gordon thing.
He still managed to bounce back to a 7th place
He still bounced back to a 7th place finish, and he's right there 11 points behind 10th place. And so these guys are bunched together. The two guys that are actually the wild cards, you've got, we got Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Newman with the wild card spots. They have one win. And Truex seeing some trouble too. And so you have the three guys, 11, 12, and 13, no wins, and then the guys who have one win. So you have so many different storylines in play here. And so if you were to ask me, like you just did, who makes the chase, I have no idea. Because all three of them are running, you know, well enough. Jeff Gordon has shown speed at a lot of these different tracks. He was fast today. I think Hendrick Motorsports is giving the full court press to get him in the chase. You got Kurt Busch, who was really, you know, up until this weekend, had some real strong runs. He entered this weekend having 6 of 8 races, finishing in the top 10. And then, of course, you have Brad Keselowski, the defending series champion, who every time he starts to show that he can win a race, has an incident like Bristol. But we know, you know, just judging from the past 2 seasons, this is a guy who can win 3 or 4 races and, you know, immediately be right back in the conversation about a potential championship winner.
It's all going to be a crapshoot going into Atlanta, and we'll be with you next week for a pre-race show for the Sprint Cup Series race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So join us next time with Matt Weaver with Popular Speed. I'm Chase Wilhelm. Good night.